There's the grease. Halo 5 Guardians. Like we saw in Halo 4, it's a pretty shotgun with great animation. We get to see it in its Xbox One form here since they didn't add this title to the Master Chief PC collection, so technically this is a worse experience. The model is practically identical, but posed a bit higher into your face, which isn't ideal. The issue of more spongy enemy types crops up again here when you have this gun, which holds it back from greatness. That new shot sound though, nice. The tactical shotgun returns, but it's getting a bit old now, as once again, there's really nothing new here from its predecessor. They did switch that torch on though. It's still a mean, satisfying, well-made shotgun to fire, but it really is far more enjoyable with precise mouse aiming. The same gun scored a 9 for Halo 4 on PC, and I recommend viewing that episode if you want more detail. But as long as this one's locked in console land, I can't quite recommend it the same way. And they still need to grease up that 4-stock.
Reactor controls are on the far side. Eliminate the Covenant forces.
Fallout 4. This game gets included in the series as the developers changed the gunplay away from the VAT system towards a more traditional FPS experience. This is a great action RPG, but not a great FPS, which is all this channel is concerned about. First up, the double barrel shotgun. There's no fanfare when getting new weapons, and you'll pick this up very early in the game.
Go get him.
It's modelled nicely and has an excellent boom to it. The different environment echoes help too. The animation is interesting, it's not bad, but it's also stylized in a slightly goofy way, adding a pause during reload where that motion wouldn't naturally occur. It doesn't offend and probably matches the game's oddball feel. The final snapback is quite satisfying. So now we get to my favourite topic, the impacts and reactions of enemies when shot. This is where the RPG game doesn't let you play ball. Enemies rarely flinch when shot, and if you're lucky to score a one-hit kill, it's your usual ragdoll crumpling to the floor with no expressive emotion every time. At least we've got some good audio and visual effects confirming hits, and these are quite nicely done for environment impacts too, kicking up dust and dirt. The worst feeling though is the sheer boredom of repeatedly shooting the same enemy and having absolutely no reward for landing your hit, other than the HP reduction. Enemies just keep on attacking, rarely dropping their aim. This completely kills any sensation of power your weapon wields, and no more so than the mighty boomstick, king of bestowing fear in your opponent's mind. A DLC purchase gets you the Handmade double barrel shotgun that, well, does nothing different from the other one, but it does look fun with them springs and all.
Fun? Huh?
It's functionally exactly the same, even the animation remains unchanged, that thumb barely reaching both shells with that widened barrel gap. The triple barrel variant is much more of an upgrade. Now we get 3 shots and in this case, added incendiary damage. It's visually appealing and very satisfying to unleash 3 shells in quick succession. The impact these flames have on enemies is once again a disappointment. These guys just walk around like their skin isn't burning away at 600 degrees. Nah, you'll be fine. Stick some aloe vera on it. These double barrel shotguns all share the same score. The laser and plasma weapons can be modified to act like shotguns with the addition of a splitter. Unfortunately, these guns just amplify the lack of enemy impact, as now we barely notice any penetration sounds or visual gore, although limbs and heads still pop off like Lego men. The lasers do sound great and have a very well made projectile effect, but it now feels like we're shooting lumps of moving iron. The exact thing in this case. That was actually more fun, as it at least makes sense. A lovely laser light show of reflected beams. Enemies do disintegrate very nicely sometimes, but even that compounds the immersion. That this gun can do that to a living being, yet they don't flinch one bit when taking repeated hits. It does my head right in. The plasma scattergun is the same story too, just now we have green hot death without the pain. I've rounded up these splitter weapons under 1 score. Finally, we have the combat shotgun, the Justice variant to be precise, as it's the only shotgun in this game I had real fun playing with due to its magical ability, by this game's standards at least, to cause enemy staggering when shot. Goodness, what a revelation! Like that shouldn't be a thing all the time. It brought this gun up to an actual FPS standard, not a great one, but one that made playing this action RPG with optional first-person perspective actually feel right for the most part. Right, how about we see it take on some big mutants? Ooh, let's try that again. There we go. Now we can deal with the enemies with some real confidence, even keeping a few under control as you push them back with a good aim. Such a contrast to the inanimate response garnered from the previous guns. Just look at the difference this makes to the gunplay. Check out these 3 repeated sequences with 3 enemies to see what I mean. These guys still standing after 6 shots of burning buckshot. So that was less than fun. Next up, the laser scattergun. They just keep taking it. This guy is rigid AF. And now for some justice. See that? Knockbacks, staggering. Even Mr. Rigid stumbles. I know which one was more fun to play, and I am pleased to find this weapon. It just shows they had the means to make this a proper shooter, but they chose not to stray far from the RPG mould. After 13 hours of this game though, I'm done. No more shooting the same enemy over and over or putting 2 point-blank barrels of buckshot in a guy's head only to hear him say, "That tickled," or "I can't see."
I can't see!
You should be dead. Dead! At least some justice is served. Super hot. A slow-mo bullet time puzzler, here's what it looks like fired in real time. That's all I can show, as doing anything without taking the red pill in this game results in death. The art direction is heavily stylized for clarity, but the gun model itself looks like Lot Zero didn't load properly. The bullet time shooting is satisfying when predicting and landing hits thanks to the shiny shatter impact effects. We need more men made of glass in FPS games. It may be harsh to include the shotgun in the series considering the unique experience it's offering, but the score reflects quite accurately how much fun it was to shoot things with a shotgun in this game, as that instant thrill of a powerful shot is somewhat diminished. Please consider supporting on Patreon.
I love it.